What if I told you America and Iran weren't always enemies? No chance of death to America. No nuclear threats. No sanctions crushing an entire economy. In fact, they once cooperated. So how did two nations go from cautious partners to one of the most dangerous rivalries on Earth? The answer begins with oil, power, and a secret operation that changed the Middle East forever. In the early 1950s, Iran had a democratically elected prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. He made one bold decision. He nationalized Iran's oil. At the time, British companies controlled most of it. Mossadegh said, "No more, this belongs to Iran." The West panicked. Oil meant power. And during the Cold War, losing influence in Iran wasn't an option. So in 1953, the Central Intelligence Agency and British intelligence launched a secret operation. They overthrew Mossadegh, and they restored Iran's king, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, also known as the Shah. To Americans, it was strategic. To many Iranians, it was betrayal. That was the first crack in the relationship. For the next 26 years, the Shah ruled Iran with strong support from the United States. He modernized the country, built infrastructure, strengthened the military, but he also crushed opposition. His secret police were feared. Political dissent was silenced. And to many Iranians, it felt like their country wasn't truly independent. They didn't just blame the Shah. They blamed America for keeping him in power. Resentment grew, and in 1979, it exploded. Mass protests filled the streets. The Shah fled the country, and a new leader emerged, Ruhollah Khomeini. Iran became an Islamic republic, and this new government defined itself in direct opposition to the United States. America was labeled the Great Satan. Diplomatic ties were cut, but it didn't stop there. In November 1979, Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. They took 52 Americans hostage for 444 days. The crisis dominated headlines in the United States. It humiliated the American government. It traumatized the nation. And it permanently cemented hostility between the two countries. From that point on, the relationship wasn't just strained. It was toxic. The 1980s brought more fire. The U.S. backed Iraq in its brutal war against Iran. In 1988, a U.S. warship shot down an Iranian passenger plane, killing 290 civilians. Iran never forgot. The U.S. later labeled Iran a state sponsor of terrorism. Sanctions followed. Iran responded by supporting armed groups across the Middle East, groups opposed to U.S. allies. It became a shadow war. No official battlefield, but constant confrontation. Then came the nuclear issue. The world feared Iran was developing nuclear weapons. In 2015, a deal was reached, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. For a moment, tensions eased. But in 2018, the United States withdrew from the deal. Sanctions came back, harder than ever. Trust collapsed. Again, in 2020, the U.S. killed Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani. Iran retaliated with missile strikes. The world held its breath. War felt close, very close. Even today, tensions simmer through cyber attacks, proxy wars, and military threats. Not full-scale war, but never peace. So how did America and Iran become enemies? It wasn't religion alone. It wasn't nuclear weapons alone. It wasn't one protest or one president. It was decades of actions, reactions, interference, revolution, retaliation. A coup in 1953 planted the seed, and every generation added fuel to the fire. Now here's the real question. Is this rivalry permanent, or could one decision change history again?